Hey everyone, my name is Matt Carter. Welcome to episode number 121 of the show right here on Shaw TV. And as those music pioneers, the Black Crowes, once said, hey little thing, let me light your candle. Our musical guest is Jeffrey Randle now singing along. Yes, Mr. Jeffrey Randle, Nanaimo's own, right behind us. Very excited to chat with him and talk about his music and endeavors later on this hour. Also coming up on the show, music-wise, now whether, we're all singers, right? Now whether you're a veteran vocalist, a karaoke all-star, or just a soloist singer in the shower, there's a place for you to sing here in the area. It's a group called Everybody Sings. We're going to find more about them and how you can drop in and sing as well. And we get the crew doing some songs also. Moving on, we're also going to look at a new initiative supporting veterans called the 2222 Push-Up Challenge. And you may have seen some examples of this floating around on social media already. Basically, want to find out how you can take part and why it's very important in the drive to raise awareness of post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, in the latest of our Seniors Connect series, we're going to find out more about the Living History Project, which provides seniors an opportunity to tell their stories to a general public audience. A great way to learn, a great way to share wisdom and experiences from the past. Moving our folks now toward culture, we're happy to shine a light on the Nanaimo African Heritage Society, putting on a number of events in celebration of Cultural Days, including a masquerade. There's also a big fashion component, and even though Fiona likes to make fun of my fashion, and she says I'm wearing a Halloween mask already, but that's just rude as far as I'm concerned. Also on the culture side, we're going to meet a Nanaimo First Nations interpreter, artist, and newly published children's author. Very excited to find out about her new book and meet her as well. Now, we don't like to talk about Christmas too much yet because we haven't even got through Halloween, for goodness sakes. We do like to talk about organizations helping out to improve Christmas for underprivileged children. Now, the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive is back for the 34th season, and we'll find out once again how you can help. Now, did you know the seaside community of Lantzville has its own art gallery? Well, it is. It just opened up this summer, so we're going to meet the founder of that and find out about the new tiny exhibition they've got going on. But first, on the show, we're going to reinforce that nothing really can make us feel more human than the presence of animals. So we've got bark, we've got bite, and we're all right. It's time for the show on Shaw TV.
Hi everybody. You've probably heard about the wonderful work that St. John Ambulance does as the oldest humanitarian organization in the world at 900 years old. But you probably haven't heard about the therapy dog program that they have. Right here on Vancouver Island in BC and the Yukon, there's over 3,000 therapy dogs that are in service right now. And here on set, we have the pleasure of meeting two of the wonderful handlers. We have Shane Kahn as a therapy dog handler and Sandra Gaspardoni, also a therapy dog handler. Please introduce your wonderful dogs that you brought here to us. Sandra, you first.
This is Toby. He's 6 years old. He's a golden retriever.
Hello, Toby. And how do I say hello to a therapy dog? Anything special I need to do?
No, but if you want to pet him, bring your hand in underneath the chin, and then you can work your way back up to the top of the head.
Cool. Hello, Toby. Welcome to the show. You're gorgeous. Yes. You're gorgeous. And Shane, who have you got here?
This is Taylor.
Hello, Taylor.
Taylor's a 7-year-old Case Hound.
Oh,
Dutch Bark dog.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Now, how did you two come to be handlers? How do you qualify to become a St. John Ambulance handler, Shane?
Well, you have to complete a St. John's Ambulance application form with references. You have to go through criminal records check. Then you have to get a certificate of vaccinations from the vet.
For yourself or for the dog?
For the dog.
For the dog, okay.
And then you have to take part in an orientation as a handler yourself about some of the do's and don'ts and doing, being a handler for a therapy dog. And then finally the dog is evaluated. It is officially tested to see if they qualify or don't qualify for the program.
And what would be some circumstances where a dog doesn't qualify for the program?
It starts with basic obedience. That's a key part of it. And then we get down to temperament. Some dogs just don't have the temperament of being in a crowded facility such as a senior's home and you walk into the lounge area, or in my case you walk in a classroom with 25 hyper grade 2 or grade 3 year olds. And so the dogs have to be able to handle that energy in the room as calmly and as placidly as possible.
So Sandra, you go into hospitals, seniors, residents, and also into schools, reading programs with children.
Yes, we do.
Tell us a little bit about some of the hospital work that you do.
The hospital work, we do the psychiatric ward at Nanaimo Regional General. And they're just there for people to relate to. You know, it gets their minds off their problems. And we also do palliative, and I think we're there more for the people that are there because they've got a loved one in bed and transitions, so we're not allowed above the bottom floors.
What a joy to bring a beautiful dog like Toby or Taylor to a care facility or hospital. How soothing that must be. I understand that even just petting a dog reduces blood pressure.
Absolutely.
And brings smiles to people's faces who maybe haven't had much to smile about lately. Yeah. What are some of the, can you tell us a little bit about the reading program that you do, Shane?
Okay, we have about 11 dogs going into schools in School District 68 and 69.
Is this mostly elementary schools?
About grade 3, 4. And they go into a classroom for about an hour a week. And 4 children a week read to the dog.
They read to the dog? Right. Oh. Right. Do the dogs get to pick the stories? Or?
We tell the children to try and pick a story that they're successfully in reading. You know, they successfully read, but at the same time, you know, they're trying to teach the dog to read as well.
Wonderful. And I understand too that some children that have problems stuttering, after a few weeks, months of reading to a dog, with the dog, that the stutter goes away. It just talks about the healing power that these beautiful animals can bring to any situation. So on your website, there's information, people can find out how they could qualify to be a dog handler. And I understand that they have to have their own dog. That's, these aren't loaner dogs.
No, these are our dogs.
These are
our babies.
Your babies for sure. And how long has Toby been a therapy dog?
Toby has been in the program now for 2.5 years.
And Taylor?
Taylor's been in it for 5 years.
Wonderful.
This is our 4th dog.
4th therapy dog that you had in the program?
Yeah.
And Sandra, you said before the show that you've been doing this for 22 years?
17.
17 of the 22 years it's been in BC. Yeah. And it's been in Canada for about, I guess about 30 years, the therapy dog program. Like that, yeah. Wonderful. So thanks again for coming in, and thank you, Toby. Thank you, Taylor. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in. Awesome. What beautiful animals. And thank you for spreading the love and the joy with these beautiful...
Thank you for having us.
You're very, very welcome. And now over to you, Joanne, to talk about some push-ups that we can be doing for a good cause.
Well, thank you, Liz. What an amazing foursome representing St. John Ambulance. It's a delight to hear about what they've been doing in the community. And I want to ask you one question. Are you up to doing 22 for 22? I know someone who is, and that is our guest here tonight, my guest, Ilona Beatty, who took up the challenge to do 22 for 22. So please tell us a bit more about what that exactly meant for you.
Well, thank you, Joanne. Thanks for having me. Well, my children introduced me to it. We were actually on a family reunion, and it was the last night. We were in the tent, and my children started doing some push-ups. And I said, what are you guys doing? And they said, well, Mom, this is the 22-22 challenge. Are you interested in participating? And I said, well, what does it involve? And I started reading up a little bit about it, and it was very interesting. It showed that in the States, for instance, in 2013, statistics came out that veterans who were coming back from the war, their suicide rate was very high. They were dying at a rate of 22 a day, veterans who came back with post-traumatic stress symptoms, yes. And in Canada, between 2004 and 2014, there were actually 160 that died, which was higher than the amount of soldiers that had died during the Afghani war.
Okay, so we're going to cut into what exactly you did to do 22 for 22, and that's to do 22 push-ups per day. There's going to be a video rolling showing us doing your 22nd day of 22 push-ups.
That's right. So for me, it was a challenge, but I wanted to participate. I never participated, like for instance last year with the ice bucket challenge, which was for Lou Gehrig's, and I felt I wanted to do my bit. So I did it for 22 days. I actually, in a row, and I was actually the only one who completed it in the 22 days. My children took a few days longer, and I'm glad I did. It didn't get any easier.
No.
But
because it looked like you were getting more fit as you went along.
Maybe a little bit. And the challenge was to not only do the 22 push-ups a day for 22 days, but also to nominate someone who was going to be doing the same thing. But I wasn't so successful with that, unfortunately. No.
What happened?
Well, I think maybe my friends were a little bit too old and they didn't want to do it. They felt they were maybe not in the condition for doing that. But having said that, you don't have to do the push-ups the way I did it. And I am by no means saying that the way that I did it was perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But you can do it on your knees. My little granddaughter participated. She was doing it. You can support yourself on the chair. And yeah, I can actually remember nominating you, Joanne. But
yes, and I faltered. I'm not one to be videoed. I don't have any problems with being interviewed, but being videoed, doing some physical fitness is not my forte.
Yes.
But it's amazing that this has got on, and so many people have joined in, though.
Absolutely.
And we could challenge our viewers here and say, are you ready to do 22 for 22?
Absolutely.
We're going to be showing the website, which is 22pushups.ca. And people can find out more about what is involved with that and can also donate to the Wounded Warriors program. Again, there were people who were highly motivated to start this after they read the statistics that you cited. And it's wonderful that so many people have gotten on board. And I can take the challenge, but I don't know if I would like to be videoed doing this.
But it's going worldwide, Joanne. I was actually in Scotland not too long ago, and I saw a tape of David Beckham, the famous English football player. And he was doing it in a penthouse on the 21st floor. He wasn't wearing anything from the waist up, so that was maybe exciting for some people. But he was doing it on top of a grand piano, and he was challenging everyone. He says, if I can do it on top of the piano, anyone can.
And I wanted to take this opportunity as we get ready to close this segment. I'm an employee of the Vancouver Island Crisis Society, and one of the things that we have, the services that we offer throughout the island, is the Vancouver Island Crisis Line. And people who are having suicidal ideation, people who are suffering from PTSD, can certainly reach out for support by the crisis line workers, and as well access to resources in the community that could help them through these challenging times. So that's going to be appearing on screen as well. The crisis line number is 1-888-494-3888, and that's available 24/7. And as well, crisis chat and crisis text services are available. You can check it out through the website at vicrisis.ca. That's available from 6 to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. So I'm really glad that we've had this opportunity for you to share what you've done to help people in our Canadian community, and that for people to know that there's local services for them as well. Thank you very much, Ilona, and you've inspired me. I will try it.
Thank you,
I hope others will as well.
Thank you. I hope so too. Thank you.
So now moving on to Cultural Days in Nanaimo. Shalima Gant is going to be interviewed by Matt about what exciting event she's got planned for that.
Absolutely. Thank you very, very much, Joanna. Thanks, Ilona, as well. Just a quick comment again on your interview there. I mean, obviously living here in this part of the world, so nice that so many of us don't have to enter armed conflict, but also so great to see initiatives like that showing support for those that do. So I gotta get my push-ups on, that's for sure, and get into shape so I can help out. All right, as you also ably mentioned as well, very happy to be with the return guest here on the show on Shaw TV. Showing off a mask way better than the Batman crew there. Founder and president of the Nanaimo African Heritage Society and also owner of Panache Productions, Shalima Gant. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So you're always great to have you on here. And as Joanne also mentioned, some amazing events coming up. But first, I want to touch a little bit on the Nanaimo African Heritage Society, which you founded back in 1999. So tell us a little about what was the lead up to putting that society together?
It's still going strong. You know, it's a lot of work trying to do a nonprofit. It did start in 1999. It's continuing. We're into our 16th year. And we host a couple different fundraisers throughout the year to keep our names out there and keep people knowing what's going on and bringing more interest to the society.
Absolutely. And that's one thing, like say someone like myself, born in Kamloops, grew up in Parksville, what can someone like me learn from an African Heritage Society?
Well, it's amazing how much history we don't know about our own country and the contributors of people who have been part of our country, and blacks have certainly no newcomers to our country. We go back as far as anybody else is in their culture and have been great contributors. We had great pioneers that have started way back when and has traveled from Victoria right up to Salt Spring Island, Nanaimo, all the way to Hogan's Alley in Vancouver.
Yeah, so real strong BC component to, again, a lot of the information you talk about.
Yes.
And a lot of it over the course of many events, so there's also a lot of celebration put on. So again, one of your other hats is owner of Panache Productions, so you often have done events matched up with fashion.
Well, the fashion started because that was my career. I was a model for many years in New York and a bit of an entertainer as well. And so I came here many years ago, about 20 years ago, and I started Panache Productions. So we took a little vacation from that and just went into our modeling, went into our Nanaimo African Heritage Society. But Panache Production teaches modeling. It's self-esteem workshops, and we teach modeling, and we do a lot of shows. So we're getting back into the swing of things with Panache Productions, and one of our main features this year on the 29th of October, our Masquerade, is a fashion show.
Perfect, awesome. So again, hence the mask part of it. But
exactly, Masquerade.
I do believe you have some models here as well.
I have some beautiful models with me today.
All right. So we'll bring our models down here, and while they're coming down onto the set, again, tell us a little bit about what folks you can expect to see at the fashion show.
Well, our fashion show, this is Sierra and Jocelyn, and they are one of the models that are going to be participating in our events. We are going to have a wonderful designer from Vancouver who's from the African Cultural Village. She's from Kenya, so she's going to have a lot of beautiful clothing there. We also have a theater out of Victoria called the Lingland Court Theater, and they will be presenting some 18th century dresses, which it all started by the theme of Venetian. But this year we're offering, because it's close to Halloween, everybody to come out and have a great time. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. These girls, of course, are wearing clothing that will be featured in the fashion show. But people often call and say, what do we wear? Don't worry about it. If you don't have a Venetian costume, put on the dress, put on whatever you need to do. I'm not sure I want the clown costumes.
Clowns don't exactly have the
they don't seem to be popular right now.
All right, well, we're going to move on with this, but first, how can people find more information about the Society's event and, of course, get tickets?
They can go on our website, www.Nanaimo African Heritage Society, or they're always welcome to call my office, Nanaimo African, I get the two mixed up, Nanaimo African Heritage Society, or on our website or our Facebook, we'll tell you where you may be able to get more tickets. Perfect. But you can also buy tickets online.
Very awesome. Well, thank you so much, and to your models for being here.
Oh, thank you.
All the best for the Society in the event.
Great.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Matt.
No problem. All right, I'm going to keep on with the music side of things. So over to our musical guest now. Mr. Jeffrey Randle's in the house. He's got a song for us called Harmony.
Spell that I was under. She came to me, and through a vision I could see that I was the lightning, she was my thunder. I took a drink from her fountain, I stood high on a mountain, my spirit open wide was set free. She said, baby, take my hand, barefoot in the sand, and together we will be in perfect harmony, harmony. beautiful creation, harmony. A beautiful creation. Said your sweet sister, I wanna be your mister. I wanna get you out into the light. As I am surrounded in this magical vista, I see you and it's making me feel alright. 'Cause I got a real fascination to your imagination. How'd you learn to do those things you do? I'm so glad I found you. I wanna wrap my arms around you, and together we will be a beautiful creation, harmony. A beautiful creation, harmony. A beautiful creation, harmony. A beautiful creation, harmony. Creation, touched it with my fingertips. I know the taste of your sweet lips. Keep this with me everywhere I go. We bonded so sweetly, I felt so completely awakened and alive. And now I know that in my heart as a musician, on a spiritual transition, and in this moment I am right to where I'm meant to be able to choose it and find peace within the music. There was the music and the nature that set me free, set me free. A beautiful creation, harmony. A beautiful creation, harmony. A beautiful creation, harmony. A beautiful creation. Thank you.
How many of us in our lifetime have encountered an individual, an older person, who told us a story that completely captivated us? And at the end of the story, we look at that individual and say, wow, I feel completely different about that person than I did. I now know something about them I never knew before. Storytelling isn't just a collection of facts. It is a narrative with perspective and emotion. The City of Nanaimo's Seniors Connect project, funded by the New Horizons for Seniors program, has a storytelling initiative. And here to tell us about that today is social planner John Horn. And we will be finding out how we can become a part of Nanaimo's living history. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Jane.
So, John, tell me, why this day and age, when I have technology at my fingertips, am I interested in in-person storytelling?
Well, there's a lot of competition for people's attention amongst the internet, with the television, and all sorts of ways. But I think there's a hunger for people to hear authentic stories from real people in real time, unmediated by a screen. And that's part of what we're doing, is providing that really authentic experience. I think people want that. They want to hear true stories by real people and have an opportunity to engage with them in real time. And so that's what we're offering with this Living History Initiative.
Okay, so that is excellent. What is the goal of the Living History Project?
Well, I have two goals, and one goal is to share stories that enrich our understanding of our own community. So they might be stories about Nanaimo, our early history, or they could be stories about people who live in Nanaimo, about their lives. And I think either way that we come away with a better sense of who we are as a community, because you know, I think the collection of who we are is really just a collection of all our stories together. That makes our community.
So do you have an example of the kind of story we'd be looking for?
Yeah, the reason I put together this initiative was several years ago I heard a story. It was a woman in Chemainus who passed away, and when she passed away it turned out that during the Second World War she had been a member of the French resistance. But she was only 12 years old when the war started, so she didn't fight. She was a messenger, and she smuggled messages from one member of the resistance to another. Under occupied France, under the Nazis, that was a death sentence if you were caught. So for 4 years, she acted as a spy. Then, after the war, she immigrated to Canada, taking up residence here in Chemainus. She never told anybody that story, no one, until she passed away. Then it came to light. I guess she didn't feel the story was valuable enough or interesting enough, but it struck me when I heard that there are extraordinary people with extraordinary experiences, and we never hear them, and I want to bring those forward. So that's really why, that's what compelled me to get going on this, was that story.
Okay. That is an utterly fascinating story, yeah, and I can totally see what you mean about a person's perspective. Her own children's perspective of her would have completely changed if they had known that story about their mom.
They had no idea that their mother had been a French resistance war hero and had never said a word.
Okay, so how many stories will become part of the Living History Project?
We're going to do about 50 stories altogether. So this is a 3-year project. Twice a year we're going to put on a series of 4 nights in which people will tell their stories to a public audience, and the general public's invited to attend. So it's really just 4 nights in a row, and then several months later we'll do another 4 nights in a row, and we'll continue doing that for several years until I think we'll run out of stories.
Okay. And when does the series start?
The first series is November the 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th, and that's Wednesday nights, the last 4 Wednesday nights in this November. The event starts at 6:30 till 8 o'clock, so that's the first series.
And
November.
Is it free?
Absolutely free, and all are welcome to attend.
Okay, and how old do I have to be part of the Living History Project?
To tell a story, we're asking people 55 and plus to tell their stories. A bit of a richer, longer life to draw from, perhaps. And so, but for audience members from 0 to 100, you're all welcome.
That sounds utterly fascinating. So how does someone get in touch with you if they want to take part, or they know someone who they feel stories should be told?
Yes, we're seeking good stories, and if you know someone who has a story, or if you have a story you think is interesting yourself, then please contact myself via my email, john.horn@nanaimo.ca, or if you're old-fashioned, you can give me a phone call, 755-4491, and if you forget all that, call the City of Nanaimo and ask for the social planner, and I'll send you to me.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, John. Now I'm going to throw it over to Kara Lee, who has another viewpoint on storytelling.
We've got it locked on Shaw TV. This is the show. I'm Carrie Lee McDowell. Joining me today on the show is author Celestine Aleck. Celestine has written 8 wonderful children's storybooks that we're going to hear about today from Strong Nations Publishing, and that features the Nanaimo First Nations culture, themes, stories, and wisdom. So we'll hear all about that. Now, Celestine has been an artist for the past 28 years, and she's also the Nanaimo First Nations interpreter and tour guide. Celestine, welcome.
Thank you.
So Celestine, I want to start by reading the great titles of your books. You have 8 books here. They're great titles, so I'm just going to read them so that people can see your vision here. So Granny and I Get Traditional Names is one name of one book. Mom, How Do You Make Smoked Fish? Taking Care of Our Mother Earth, a very important title. The Cedar Tree, The Heart of Our People is another title. The Great Blanket of Moss, I love that title, that's my favorite title. And then The Great Trade, The Sun and the Moon, and then also Why Ravens and Wolves Hunt Together. And if people want to get a 6-story set, they can purchase the set, Strong Stories, Coast Salish single set. Tell us about your books, Celestine.
My Coast Salish books are, 4 of them are short stories I've written, and the other 4 are on our Coast Salish culture, like How Do You Smoke Fish, or Granny and I Got a Traditional Name. And yeah, I loved writing them. It was a lot of work.
Tell us all about them.
About them, which one?
Just tell us some about some of the themes and various themes and themes of the books.
The short stories I've written were about, I take facts and then the rest imagination with the short stories I've written. And then the other ones are about our culture. So I don't know what you want me to say more about that.
Well, one great book that we have here is Why Ravens and Wolves Hunt Together, and there's some lovely pictures and just the various books here. You know, just tell us a bit about the story.
Well, you mentioned that I was an artist for well over 28 years. Every mask, plaque, and totem pole that you see, those were our history books long ago. So that's how I learned how to start telling stories. And being an artist for as long as I was, I've talked to other artists and see if they knew why ravens and wolves hunted together. No one could come up with a story, so I wrote my own story.
So I just want to show some of the great illustrations here. They're really wonderful. You know, can you tell us what age group are these books for?
This one is for grade 3, but I've told all these stories on my tours from kindergarten all the way up to university.
And can adults read these books too?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to read all these books, I think. Now, also, you've been the Nanaimo First Nations interpreter and tour guide for many years, and also an artist for the past 28 years. Tell us a bit about your career and your artistic work.
I was fortunate enough to grow up with my elders, and right from when you're little, you know, that's how I learned about our culture, or our territory, or why animals are the way they are. And I was so lucky to grow up with them, and if I ever wanted to share a story, I had to learn it word for word before I could even tell it. So if they told me a story once, they would say, okay, now tell me what I just told you. So I had to learn how to pick up things fast, and then being able to write after that was easy too.
Mm-hmm. Now, Celestine, what's your website page, and where can people get in touch with you? Do you have an email address, actually?
I have an email address, celestine@snuneymuxw.ca, but if you want to look at my books, you could go to Strong Nations.
Wonderful. It's been so nice chatting with you today, Celestine. I want to have you back to tell some of your stories because you're a great storyteller. We all know that. So I want to welcome you back in the future, and we'll hear some great stories from you down the road. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing.
Okay, and I'm going to throw it over now to Tara Keeper. Keep it locked on Shaw TV. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for that. I'm definitely going to check out Ms. Aleck's books there. They look very interesting. I love stories. And speaking of stories, I am so happy to have the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive, who's preparing for their annual kickoff November 15th. We want to get that word out. And I'm just going to say your little blurb here, which I like, because this month you're following that old saying. It's called start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Great saying. So here with me to talk more about this upcoming drive is we have Joanne Rollin, which is the Director of Volunteers, and we also have Zeta Giron, who's the Director and Treasurer of this great organization. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you very much.
Good. So what I want to talk about, let's just get in right into that, the drive. Let us know a little bit of the history. How did you come up with the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive? How did it all start?
Well, actually, it was started by a member of Altruza, which is a women's service group here in town, Dorothy Gaspardoni, 34 years ago. And she had involvement with the corrections, and they took used toys, they fixed them up, and there were some people on her street that needed some help at Christmas time, and so she gave those toys out to them. And that's how the whole thing started.
Great. And up until now, you guys have been ensuring that every child gets a toy under the Christmas tree. Yeah, that's amazing. And how did you get involved, Zeta?
Well, I got involved 2 years ago. I was at a point in my life where I wanted to get involved with a charity, and this opportunity came up. And for me, it's really close to my heart because when my parents immigrated to Canada in 1990, they actually used the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive for our first Christmas here in Canada, in Nanaimo. So it's close to my heart, and I'm happy to help now that I can.
Oh, wow. No, that's really good. No, it's the stories. It's always the stories that bring us together. So now what I want to know is that what do you want us to do? How we can spread this word, how families can register, what the community can do to help your toy drive?
Well, certainly our boxes will be available for people to contribute gifts in all of the fire halls, in all of the major shopping centers all over town. And so starting on November the 15th, you can start making your contributions, and we rely wholly and solely on all of the wonderful people in Nanaimo for doing that. And then if you want to volunteer to help us sort out all those gifts, and distribute all those gifts. We'd be very happy if you give me a call, and I can tell you all about how you can become a volunteer for the Nanaimo Toy Drive too.
We're going to give the website, but do you want to give your number now so people have that number?
Sure.
And we have it on the graphic as well, but just in case.
Okay. The number is 250-753-9292.
Perfect, thank you. Now there is, what I really like is you have a lot of different options, ways that you can get involved, where you, if you have your private little Christmas parties, you can have, bring toys. Give us some more options that we can do.
We're also on Canada Helps for individuals that don't have the time to go to the shopping centres to get a toy. We can donate online at canadahelps.org and to do a monetary contribution.
Okay.
And because we like to ensure that every child gets a book as well as a toy, and that was one of the things that Altruza wanted to make sure would happen. For instance, if you're a member of a book club and you normally exchange little gifts at Christmas time, instead, why don't you buy a children's book and donate that to us as well? So there are lots of different ways that groups and organizations can contribute.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for being here. And I thank you for what you do. And just folks, to let you know at home, to get involved, you can visit their website, which is www.thegreatnanaimotoydrive.ca. And we do have that as on the graphic as well. Thank you again, ladies. And we're going to go back to Matt and Jeffrey with some more good music and an interview.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much, Tara. And again, thank you so much to the Nanaimo Toy Drive crew as well. The holidays, of course, are absolutely the best of times when you can celebrate them. But, you know, if you've got any sort of struggle anyway in your mind, holidays can be sometimes the toughest time. So please, let's make Christmas worth celebrating for the kids in Nanaimo out there, and do support the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive. Wonderful stuff. And as also mentioned, it's time for a musician interview now. Very happy to bring on to the show Mr. Jeffrey Randle. Jeff, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Now, I know it's your first time here on the show, but our own Fiona, who's directing us today, she's actually done some video work for you before.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, she shot a video for us in house I'm living in. A couple different locations, actually. One of my songs on the album I'm working on now. Not this moment, but, you know, currently.
Exactly. I definitely want to talk about the new album here in a little bit. First off, your first time here in the Shaw TV studio, but you're not a stranger to studios. You were telling us before we went on air here about you've done some work in the film industry.
Yeah, you know, about 16 years ago, I used to work in Vancouver for 3 years as a movie set carpenter. So, yeah, I built a lot of houses before that, but I only did 3 years basically in the movie biz. So
there you go. And now traded the hammer for the guitar to get you actually performing in the studios.
Yeah,
get the art side out there. Now, I do want to talk a bit about the music background. So, according to your bio, music for you basically started in Maui. So, what's the story there?
Yeah, kind of. It was just me and a friend of mine took off to Maui in 2007, and I basically just hitchhiked all over the place, lived for a couple of months off the grid in the jungle down in Nahiku, and where I wrote a song or two, and stayed there for a couple of months and came back to Canada and formed my first band with a couple of friends of mine, the Naked Grapes, and that's basically where it just kind of grew from there. It started. You know, yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah, exactly. And what sort of kind of tunes were they? Is it the same kind of stuff you're playing with the Naked Grapes, or sort of describe the sound to our viewers?
We're doing all kinds of cover tunes, and but some of my original stuff, I guess it's sort of country, hillbilly, reggae kind of thing. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
That answers the question really well, exactly. I mean, of course, you're playing here. We'll play another song in a little bit to hear more of it. Now, in terms of playing, like, I personally have seen you perform lots in town under your own name as duos, different venues, but you're speaking again before. You haven't played all that much recently, but it doesn't mean you haven't been busy.
Yeah, this year I've been mostly woodshedding, to use a familiar old expression. I've been working kind of on my, learning how to play the guitar, actually. Which is funny. No, but learning how to play the electric guitar, mostly just to, to get to be a better second lead and rhythm guitar player in a band, which is, yeah, kind of a thing that I needed to work on. And some background vocal stuff, I need to work on that, so I've been doing that. Plus, I've got a new band now that I'm playing in called the Randall Parker Band, and basically the whole band has been woodshedding for about the last 6 to 8 months, so as all bands must do when they start out.
Absolutely. Do you guys have the classics sort of like hold up in some basement recording studio or someone's house, or is it on the beach? Where do you guys get that music?
Well, actually, the video that Fiona shot for us, she shot it in a house that I'm living in at Departure Bay, and that's where we rehearse, so plugged in, which is really nice. And the neighbors love it. And they all just say, hey, man, you guys sound really great. And they love it. So it's
Nice,
fantastic.
You guys start throwing some house parties and help pay the rent, right? Exactly.
Yeah, right.
So give us again a quick shout out about some of these new guys you are playing with. What sort of instruments, what sort of sounds? Give them a plug out there. You got them on TV.
Yeah. So it's right now it's developed into about a 6-piece band. It's Kevin Parker is another fellow singer-songwriter originally from California, and he writes some really great tunes. And we got my songs, and then we've got, we got a fellow named James Chappell. He plays sax and flute. Nice. And we've got Buzz Gagnon, he's our drummer, and we've got Brian Fatchin on bass, and he's pretty cool because he actually is a schooled guitar player, but he decided to pick up the bass about a year ago to be the bass player in our band. And I think Kevin and his wife and young daughter moved here about 8 years ago, and Kevin's wife just recently joined the band, so now she's doing some backup vocals for us, and yeah, it's pretty fun.
All right, well, thanks for giving the shout out, and we're really looking forward to hearing the new song. So where can people find out more about your music, or can hear some of your music online?
I do have some stuff on Reverb Nation, but I think most people in this town probably know that by now. The album I'm doing right now, it's not out yet. You can always reach me on Facebook, and I have an email address, jeffrandlemusic@gmail.com.
Beautiful.
And that's it. Like I said, not a lot going on this year, but we're hoping to have more of a presence next year.
Good. All right, well, I know people are loving the sound of the tunes here, so watch out for that. Jeff, thank you so much for being here. Let's have another song for you right now. So I think this song is about a podiatrist because it's called The Things That Touch My Soul.
Well, it could be. I never thought of it that way.
There you go.
It's whatever you want it to be about.
Beautiful. All right, let's hear it now.
Cool,
Jeff
man.
Randle on the show.
All right.
TV.
I was enjoying the day, I saw a butterfly, and it was hard not to notice as he fluttered by. I was standing by the water, it was calm and clear. Yeah, the sky was blue, not a cloud to be found. I was looking and there were nobody else around, and I was thinking to myself, wishing you were here. What else would I write about except the things that keep me whole? What else would I write about if not the things that touch my soul? I got a split in my hand, I got the sun on my face, I got my toes in the sand, I'm in a beautiful place. The only thing that's missing is you. I'm driving down the road, I got my sunglasses on, I got the radio playing a Bob Marley song. Naturally, I'll be thinking of you. What else would I write about except the things that keep me home? What else would I write about if not the things that touch my soul? The friends that touch my soul. The girl that touched my soul. The things that touch my soul. I know you spent some time thinking of me, so I wrote a song so that you could know that you and I will always be friends. 'Cause everywhere I go and everything I do, through the thick and the thin, I gotten used to you. On me you can always depend. What else would I write about except the things that keep me home? What else would I write about if not the things that touch my soul? not the things that keep me whole? What else would I write about if not the things that touch my soul? The friends that touch my soul. The girl that touched my soul. The things that touch my soul. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I feel like I'm being serenaded here. We are going to talk about art, my one of my favorite subjects in the whole world, because I certainly think the world needs a lot more art. And here with me, I'm really, really excited to have Danica Reyes, who is the new founder of the Lantzville Art Gallery. Welcome, Danica.
Thank you, Tara.
Well, let's talk about your gallery because it's fairly new.
It's very new. I launched in 2015.
What, and it was the summertime, was it not?
It was the spring, yes.
Okay. You know what, because we were talking just before we started filming here, and your story is amazing. You have an amazing story. I don't know what you don't do. Tell us about how you got involved with art, because it's a really interesting story.
Well, first and foremost, I think the most important thing to mention is that I'm born here in Nanaimo. Yes. So I like to say Nanaimo built strong.
Yes.
But essentially to a Danish mother and a Canadian father. So right there, that gives me a bit of an eclectic background. But I got into art really through birth. I'm born an artist. You are or you're not, basically. But I started selling art at Art of Man Gallery at the Empress Hotel. And this was after I had returned from Copenhagen Business College, and after I had actually studied at what was then Malaspina and now VIU. Great name change, I think. It helps all of us on the international game.
Right, I agree.
It absolutely does.
And you also studied at the Blanche Macdonald, too.
I also studied fashion at Blanche Macdonald, yes, and acting at Joanne Barron and D.W. Brown's studio in Santa Monica. Oh, wow. Yes. I'm a life learner. I think many artists are.
And I liked what you said is because, you know, when you're involved with art and it becomes your career, when you buy art, you bought your first art piece at the age of 15 in Tofino.
I did. At this little gallery, I was only 15, and I fell in love with a piece by a BC artist, Ron Stacy, at the time, and he actually was painting First Nations works, which now I look at and question whether there is an infringement upon cultural appropriation, because I have such a heightened respect for such things. But back then, it was just the piece. I loved it, and I bought it, and have been a collector ever since.
So let's talk about this upcoming exhibit that you have. It's called It's a Miniature World Out There. You do have a little piece, which is so cute as well.
First and foremost, I have to point out that not only is this a very, very, very tiny piece of work, but this is an original work. This is done by Tiffany Hasty, yes, who is our very own BC girl, born in Hope, BC. But she's just recently won Best in Realism at the Washington, D.C. Miniature Show. Oh, wow. So I'm very, very proud of her. But for any artist to be able to paint in this small of a format by hand is truly remarkable. I think for any artist, no matter how talented they are, to be able to do so in such a small scale is just remarkable.
And is that what she does? That is
her niche. Yes, that is her market. She is a fine art miniature artist. Yes, Tiffany's.
And also, I just want to touch on, too, because you do art coaching, and that's kind of interesting, too, because now it's like, how do you sell the art? How do you market yourself? Do you want to just give a little bit of information about that? That's interesting.
Well, I'm very passionate about empowering artists, and specifically Canadian artists. I want to help them in terms of how they approach galleries, how they get proper professional representation, how they can confidently navigate the art business, because it is like any other. It is a business. Yes. But it is led by individuals who essentially lead us all, because artists really truly inspire.
Oh, they do, yes.
Everything.
Thank you so much for being here. And I just want to say I'm so glad that motherhood brought you back to Lantzville, brought you back home. So we're very lucky. Thank you for being here. So now we're going to be with Elizabeth with Everybody Sings. How fun is that?
Thanks very much, Tara and Danica. And I can't wait to head down to the Lantzville Art Gallery. And if you're interested in the art of singing, but if you're like me and when you're in grade 5, they told you in the Glee Club, Elizabeth, maybe just mouth the words instead of singing, then I've got the singing group for you. Everybody Sings. A fantastic group here in Nanaimo that sings all kind of world music, and the only requirement is you have to be a non-singer. So, Cindy Doel, Rick Hogarth, and Trevor Muse, welcome to Everybody Sings. And I know you guys, or to Shaw, pardon me, I know you guys all sing very well, but for people like me, it's very encouraging to join your group and learn how to sing, because I never knew I could until I joined your group. Cindy, how long have you been doing Everybody Sings as the director?
One group has been going for 16 years and the other one for 15 years. There's one downtown and there's one up in Lantzville, one in Lantzville and one in downtown.
And Rick, how long have you been with the group?
About 8 years, and I was in the same position as you, Liz. I didn't know I could sing until I came, and they sat me between Trevor and Gordon, said, just match those two guys. So
right on.
They just took me in hand, and it was wonderful.
I love it. Trevor, what kind of music do you like to sing with the group?
We do a lot of world music, so we're singing in different languages sometimes, but Cindy's really good about just taking us through the lyrics and teaching us everything by ear, so you feel comfortable, and people can sing or just sit and listen or join in when they feel comfortable, and so it's a very safe place to sing.
It is, and I love that it's drop-in, $10 at either the Lantzville Church St. Philip's or downtown St. Andrews. And I understand you're going to walk us through, and the whole crew here, everybody wants to sing one of your songs. So let's take it away, Cindy.
This is an African song. It's called O Say I O, and it just sounds like a bunch of vowels.
A vowel song.
So we'll sing it first, and then we'll get the crew to sing it with us. Come on up, anybody and everybody.
Oh, say I oh, abe ade oh, ae oh. You guys carry on with the lead. Oh, say I oh, abe ade oh, ae oh. So if you don't have a deeper voice, you can sing the upper harmony if you like. And the words are just O, say, I, O, abe, ade, o, and the B is before the D alphabetical. Abe, ade, o, I, a, o. But if you sing it I, and then you put a Y in between, I, yeah, yo, it kind of makes it transition a little better. So let's try this all together.
Okay, everybody sing.
We'll start with
Cindy, take us away.
Oh, say I, oh, abe, ade, oh, ae, oh. Stay on the lead, now go to the harmony. Oh, say I, oh, abe, ade, oh, beautiful voices beside me. That was lovely. Some nice sopranos.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cindy, and
You are
encourage
so
anybody who
welcome.
wants to come out. You might walk in feeling a little low one day. After a session, it's 2 hours of just getting together and singing. You walk out of there feeling like $1,000,000, and it only costs you $10 at the door. Drop in. You don't have to sign up for a lifelong commitment. Just come on in and join the singing. And where's Matt? He's good. Oh, he's going to sing our way home. There he is.
Sorry, my voice is a little bit done today. Oh no. My best. No, I do say awesome. Thank you also, Cindy, Trevor, Rick. Thank you guys so much for being here and helping the debut of the Shaw TV Volunteer Choirs performance on television. So
Yeah, passed the audition.
Exactly.
Well done.
Yes, excellent, awesome. Leanne, thank you guys so much for being here. Everybody sings, really wonderful. You guys put that together, and again, helping us all get vocals out there and sing. So I'm going to try at least to get a little bit of vocals out because I didn't get to join the group. So of course, everyone knows the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? So a little bit of story of my breakfast this morning. Ate too much sourdough, but a ray of light hit me. It wasn't far-fetched to be so thirsty. I squeezed a lemon to make tea to beak off all that sourdough. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Anyways, my best chance anyways. Hopefully I pass the audition. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks to all of our guests, actually, and all of our volunteer staff, and our hardworking volunteers in front of the cameras and behind the scenes. Hey, you can find more about this program, Shaw TV on Facebook, facebook.com/the show on Shaw. You'll also find information on this program and the channel on Twitter, and you'll also find the previous episodes of the show as well on YouTube. Now, if you want to be on the show or you know someone who does, you can talk to our good friend Kelly Robinson. She can hook you up with appearances on here and talk to you about different show ideas and that sort of thing. So thank you, Kelly, for all your work there. But before we leave for another episode, we've got one more song from Jeffrey Randle, the appropriately titled Long Gone. Jeffrey Randle, it's the show. Cheers, and thank you so much for watching.
I'm just rolling down the road, rolling back the miles. It's been a while since I've seen another town, and I might be gone for a while. No destination, no guaranteed salvation. On this road I travel on, I'll say goodbye to home for now. I got nothing going on anyhow. By tomorrow I'll be long gone. I'm headed east to the rising sun. I got my foot down on the gas. I wanna hear that engine run. Got no one here to miss me when I'm gone. I'm like a freight train rolling. I ain't stopping till I'm done. I'll be long, long, long gone. A few more miles behind me now, between me and my hometown. It's been so long since I've seen the open road and that town that always brings me down. 'Cause I keep thinking about those rivers and the mountains and all the towns along the way. I may have only driven a few hundred miles, but in my mind I'm a million miles away. I'm headed east to the rising sun. I got my foot down on the gas. I wanna hear that engine run. Got no one here to miss me when I'm gone. I'm like a freight train rolling. I ain't stopping till I'm done. I'll be long, long, long gone. Long, long, long gone. Long, long, long gone. rising sun. I got my foot down on the gas. I wanna hear that engine run. Got no one here to miss me when I'm gone. I'm like a freight train rolling. I ain't stopping till I'm done. I'll be long, long, long gone. Long, long, long gone. Long, long, long gone. Long, long, long gone.